Hello, fellow Sudokans, and welcome to Zen and the Art of the Guardian Sudoku puzzle for Wednesday, the 19th of January 2021. How are you doing this morning? If it is morning, whatever time of day it is, I hope you are keeping well. It's the middle of the week, working week again. Days whiz by backwards, not backwards, forwards only. I was to say backwards and forwards, but in fact, they only go in one direction, right? Okay, today's Guardian should be a medium level. That's what it normally is classified as. And what's happening in the news? Well, some slightly good news, I guess. A group calling itself Patriotic Millionaires UK is calling a group comprising rich people, millionaires and billionaires. You've got to be at least a millionaire to get into that club. Are calling for more tax on the rich, greater tax, greater equality in taxing people. Well done, you lot. Uh, Absolutely right. Apparently, there are 102 of these people, including Abigail Disney, who's an heiress to the Disney fortune, who have stated that yes, the tax system is rigged in their favour. Yes, we know. They have made so much more money during the COVID pandemic. It's absolutely outrageous. And when other people are really suffering, and they have said every country needs to demand a fairer tax system. And yes, I mean, people also need to understand numbers, what it actually means to be a billionaire. I think these numbers are so huge that people can't comprehend what that actually means in terms of spending power and how that would affect other people's lives if that money were more fairly distributed. So here we are in our tiny little channel fighting for more equality. And so good luck, and I hope they can persuade the most famous of the billionaires like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos et al. To join their cause. Right, let's get on with today's Guardian Sudoku puzzle. How do we play the game? Well, it's a game, a grid, based on a grid of 9 squares across, 9 squares down, and also 9 squares in these kind of outlined areas, right? We put numbers 1 to 9 in. That's it, really. We just put numbers 1 to 9 in since there are 9 squares. It's a kind of a jigsaw type puzzle where pieces fit, and all you need to understand is how we make the pieces fit. We have a strange kind of shape today, I've just noticed. I'm just looking at the grid now. It's like almost like an arrow. Do you see? Like an arrow pointing down into the southeast corner. There's the. Do you not think so? No. Okay. There you are. There's an example of people finding shapes in a random pattern, where of course there is no shape, but it's just one of the things that humans do. Right. So how do we go about finding the numbers? Well, we do something like this. We say that this 4 in this row means that there can be no other 4s in this row. Nowhere along this row can another 4 exist. So specifically, these 2 squares can't be 4. Same applies to this 4 down here and this row. Same rule applies. No 4s can exist in the same row, so this square and this square cannot be 4. Now we'll look at this 4 in this column and say the same rule applies to this column, so no 4 can be repeated in this column. So if the number 4 cannot be here, 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 or here, then there's only one square left. And we conclude that that's where the digit goes. And that's how we play the game. Okay, now you've got the rule. Let's hope you can join me in finding the answers in a reasonable way. Well, actually, I say reasonable way. Any way is a good way, as long as we don't guess. Guessing is not allowed. Guessing is verboten on Sudoku puzzles. Not to say that it couldn't ever work. You might get lucky from time to time, but it's not a good idea, and it's certainly not the point of the game. The point of the game is definitely not to guess. Okay, right, Where are we? So if you're new to the channel, I should just say that I don't play these games ahead of time. I have no idea what the actual answer is just yet. I'm just playing along same time as you are. If you're looking at the game before you've played it yourself, if you've already played it yourself, you know more than me at the current time of recording. Well, yesterday's game was trickier than the average Tuesday game. Monday's was too, so perhaps the Guardian is on a bit of an upgraded streak this week. Could be possible. Okay, so this 9 blocks up this column here, and this 9 blocks up this column here. So 9 has to fit there. Now there are 2 numbers missing from this column. The numbers are 1 and 2. Now if you notice, this 1 blocks this square here, so we know that the 1 goes there. And the last number we need to complete is a 2, complete the column I mean. Now this 5 blocks this square here, this 5 blocks these 2 squares, and this 5 blocks this square. So in this column there is only 1 square unaffected by an intersecting 5. 5 here, 5 here, and this 5 blocking these 2. So we know that 5 has to be placed there, and we'll continue using that 5 and say that it blocks across this row, and 5 blocking across here, and 5 up here, and 5 up there. So that's got to be a 5 there. Now here's a slightly more advanced thing, not very though. 2 and 3 block across here. We don't yet have 2 or 3 in this block. Now 2 and 3 block across this row, so that means that both 2 and 3 must be in these squares up here. Okay. Alright, so we'll do one thing first, then we'll do something else, right? So the 2 is somewhere up here. That means it blocks down here, and we have a 2 blocking across here. So we now know that 2 is in that square. But I want to do something else as well. Now that we know that 2 and 3 are in here, we have 2 other numbers to consider. If this is 2 and 3, these 2 empty squares must contain 1 or 7. Because this is 2 and 3, so if you count through and work out all the other missing numbers, you'll find 1 and 7 must fit here, and clearly you've seen already the 1 blocks that square, so 1 is there, and 7 is there. Sorry for the silence, I shall be with you in a second. I haven't gone anywhere, I'm just studying the board. That's the trouble. This is a speaking channel. I mean, supposed to give commentary and also talk about anything that I feel like, because that's why it's called Zen and the Art of the Guardian Sudoku. It's not called Sudoku channel. It allows me to ramble at length, at will. But this Sudoku is a game that sometimes needs a bit of quiet so that you can actually concentrate on what you're doing. So that's quite a tricky feat sometimes. Hmm. I've been looking at all kinds of possibilities, um, and not arriving at a firm conclusion. But I have been looking, I promise. I haven't been, you know, getting a quick coffee in or anything like that while you were there staring at the board. I wasn't skiving. Ah, I've got it now. Okay, so 9 blocks up here and 9 blocks across here. So 9 is in one of these two squares. That means the 9 cannot be in any of these 3 squares over here. So we've got the 9 blocking across the top row, the eventual 9 that will be placed here or here, blocking across the second row, and we have a 9 blocking up here. So in fact we know that 9 is in that square there. Now this 4 stops this square from being a 4. We do not yet have a 4 in this row, and there is only one empty square apart from that. So the 4 is here. Now we need one more digit to complete this row. It's a 6. If you look through, there won't be any 6s. So a 6 must go in that square there. Alright, I'm still considering. I'm reviewing the situation, as Ron Moody once sang. This box down here is annoying me. In fact, this whole shoot is annoying me. The 1 blocks across this row here. That puts a 1 in these squares. It also puts a 1 in one of these squares because we have 1 blocking down here. That puts a 1 up there. You know, I'm talking about all the possibilities now. There or there. And then here we have here or here. That puts a 1 into one of these 2 squares here as well. So we've got a 1 there, 1 there. So I can't get anything, so like nothing else is happening. 3s. 3 blocks down here and 3 blocks across here. So 3 is in one of these 2 squares. Again, we can't place the 3 because it's there. And over here we've got 3 possibilities for 3. So that's not good. 5s are up here. And that's not much else to know. 6 blocks down here, but there are 3 possibilities, so that's no good. And over here, 6. We don't know enough. 7's tricky. 7 can appear just about anywhere. 7 is here, over in these 2 anywhere. 8 we already have in this block. Will 8 get us anything? Over here we don't know anything about 8, do we? And 9 we've already got in 2 places, so 9 is here, 9. 9, there we go. 9 blocking down here, 9 blocking up here. I should have seen that when I put the 9 in before. I didn't bother to check carefully. Okay, so now we have 9 across here, 9 up here, 9 across there. And that will be a 9 in that square, and then 9 blocking up this column, and across this row. So 9 is now our first digit that we have in every single block. Okay, so we don't need to worry about digit 9 anymore. But we do have 8 other numbers to be concerned about. Okay, in this column here, we don't yet have a 4. This 4 blocks both of these two squares here, and this 4 blocks this square, so now we only have one available square for a 4. Well, again, this is taking me a little bit of time. I'm not rushing through at very high speed because it's so easy. So this is 3 days in a row. Even the beginner game made me think this week. So I think the Guardian has upped its game on the beginner and medium levels. Not that I think it's going to be impossible or even, going to be really terrible or anything. But it's certainly a game that has made me think about it. Not able to do it without any proper thought process. And that's the mark of good Sudoku at any level, easy, medium, hard, or expert. And we play all levels on this channel. At the moment, though, not getting very far. Need to expand my horizons, probably. Normally that's what happens. I find when you play Sudoku and you're not finding a digit, you need to look somewhere else in a different way, a different thing. The 7s are the real problem today. We have 2 7s so far. We were given 1 7 at the beginning of the game. We've got 2 now. And we've got the possibilities down here, but the 7s are really causing grief. If we had some more information on 7, we would be doing much better. The 8s are also pretty tough, I will say. Oh, okay, so 1 blocking across this row, 1 blocking across this row, and the 1 will fit there. This 1 blocks down this column, this 1 blocks across this row, so 1 is there, and then 1 blocking up here, 1 blocking up here. We can fit a 1 there. This 1 blocks across this row, this 1 blocks across this row, so a 1 fits here, and then a 1 up this column, and across this row. And that is digit 1 complete. So the 1s and the 9s, either end of the spectrum, have been done. It's all the middle stuff that we need to do now. Sudoku is a strange psychological effect sometimes. I find that it sometimes forces me to, it pulls me back looking at the same things, even though I know it's not going to be successful somehow or another. It pulls me back. But anyway, I've seen a way forward now. 3 blocks across here and 3 blocks down here. So 3 is in that square. Now 3 blocks across this row, 3 blocks down here. So 3 will be there. 3 up this column, and 3 will fit there, and 3 blocks this square here. So 3 is here, and if you remember, the 2 is here because this 2 and 3 was what gave us our initial start. Now the 2 blocks across this row, 2 blocks up here, so 2 is there. Again, 7 and 8 are the missing numbers. Again, 7 and 8 are our problem today, the most difficult problem. Of course, this is 7 and 8 missing here as well. But now we've got a 6 blocking up here, so 6 will fit there, and that means down here this can't be a 6 now, so 6 will be there, and now we can get a 7 to finish this block. And now over here we are still lacking what are we lacking? 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 6. So that's 6 blocks up here, putting a 6 into that square there. 6 blocks across this row, and blocks this square here. So 6 is there. 6 down this column, and across this row puts a 6 there. And so yeah, 7, 8, 7, 8. Still looking at those 7s and 8s. All right, so this is missing numbers here are 7 and 8, so we can get this number at least, right? This is 7 or 8. So we have to look at the other numbers to find out what's missing from this column. And the missing number is a 3. Okay, we don't have a 3 yet, so we'll put the 3 in there. Seven blocks down here now, so that's our 7 and this is our 8. Missing numbers on the end of this row are 2 and 8. Okay, so we have a blocking 2 here. We need a 2 to complete this row. We have 1, 2 stopping us there, so the 2 goes there. And then the 8 finally is going to give us some joy. So this can't be 8, so the 8 goes here, the 7 goes here, this 8 puts a 7 there, and an 8 there. Of all those 7s and 8s that we've been desperately trying to find. Not much more to go now, almost home and dry. We have 1 digit missing from here now. It's a 7 because we got the 8 up there already, so that's got to be a 7. Missing numbers here and here are 5 and 8. We have an 8 blocking here, so 8 goes there, 5 goes there. 1 digit missing from this column. I do believe it's a 4. And now there's 4 blocks across this row, 4 blocks here, so 4 is there. 1 digit missing from this column. It's a 7, isn't it? Okay, so 7 stops that from being 7. 7 goes here. 1 number to get here, which is a 5, and that stops this square from being a 5, so 5 goes here. The 8 is the last number there. 8 blocks this square. Finally, our 8s can be completed. And the last number to finish the grid is a 2. Let's have a quick look around and make sure that we haven't got any duplicates, because it can certainly happen when you're playing with a pen and not paying full attention to your Sudoku game. Okay, but it seems to be in order, so I think I'll declare a victory on that game and say thank you for joining me, and come back later for some more difficult Sudoku. Bye bye.